Can I just say one thing real quickly? A bit off topic, but I literally just did a 17-hour shift. I got in, it is 6 a.m. So I've been working since the previous day in the afternoon. It's now 6 a.m. now, British time. Everybody is sleeping in my household, so I'm trying to be quiet. Trying to film this creatine video because everybody's been asking me about this creatine video. Just a quick sit down, talk about creatine and just being basic and specific, but you're seeing the daily grind, right? 17-hour shift, come in, and I still wanted to just, film this. So that's why if you're probably thinking, why is he so quiet, etc., this is the reason. I still live with other people, so people are sleeping. I'm very open, I'm very, transparent, like the grind. So, good early morning when it's come Valentine, the creator of Live to My History. And in this video, we're going to be talking about creatine, chapter 3, talking about creatine and why you need to be using creatine to continue to scale your performance. Let's freaking go. Not sure if you can see creatine monohydrate. So what is creatine, you're thinking? Creatine is a natural substance stored within the muscles. So stored within the muscle cells, used as energy. So it's stored in the muscle cells as phosphocreatine. I'm not going to go into too much detail about phosphocreatine and molecules breaking down and ATP synthesizers so you're going to get put off. I'm going to get to the point so you understand how creatine basically works. This is not a scientific, theory, thesis page. That's why I make it specific so you can continue to elevate your gains. So creatine is stored within the muscle cells. It's basically stored as phosphocreatine and is used as energy as ATP. ATP is basically adenosine triphosphate, an energy source allowing you to train. The more ATP you have basically within the muscles, the harder you can work. And creatine, when it's, when this is consumed inside the body over a period of time, you're able to work harder. So a lot of people, you see a lot of bodybuilders, you see a lot of people who are doing HIIT training take creatine. Creatine, is great for improving strength. To think of, your one rep max, the deadlifts, the squats, the overhead press, you're able to improve on that. Think of HIIT training. The back-to-backs, your circuit training, you're doing sprints, it allows you to perform better. But weight, people think taking creatine, I'm going to be randomly, drastically increase my strength. For example, from 140 squats to 180 squats, or I'm benching, 100 kg on the bench, and I'm suddenly managed to bench 3 plates, 4 plates. That's not what creatine does. Remember, creatine is naturally stored within the muscle cells. It's a natural, compound within the body. Taking it just allows you to increase your performance. So let's just say you're doing, incline, bench press. You're able to increase that slightly by like 1 or 2 reps. Or when you usually get tired and you're exercising, you're doing your HIIT training, and you usually start to get tired. Creatine allows you to go even more for that few more seconds, that last rep, that you're just about to give up. When they say every rep counts, creatine allows you to kind of go beyond that. So you're able to do that extra 1 or 2 reps. It allows you to slightly increase your performance output. So in the long run, you're able to seriously scale your gains. So answering your question to all these newbies out there, especially all these young people going to take creatine, you're not just suddenly going to drastically, increase your strength. If that's what you're hoping for, you're going to be disappointed. Creatine is a natural compound within the body. It's slightly going to improve your performance. Like for example, when I'm doing deadlifts, sometimes when I fail, if I'm doing a 5 to 5, and I usually start to fail around that 4, creatine, yes, me taking creatine has allowed me to do the 5 with a bit more ease. I can get that extra rep in, do a 6, maybe even a 7. But that's the kind of limit you're going to go with creatine. It just slightly improves your performance. So think of it as this energy source, right? So this is your energy source, and when you work out, so let's just say when you work out, it moves. Creatine, you start taking creatine over a period of time, you have more energy. So let's just say this is 3 now, you had 1, now you got 3, so you got 2 times more energy. You're able to do even more, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to make it as basic as possible. The more creatine you take over time, slowly, naturally you can increase your performance. And what's the dose of creatine? Understand that everybody is going to be slightly different. Do what works for you. You can always mix and match and see what works for your body. But people usually go for 5 grams every single day. Remember, you need to be consistent. So, an example, if you want to load, you do 5 grams 3 times a day for 5 to 6, even 7 days. And after the 7th day, for example, you just take 5 grams every single day. Just keep it consistent. Again, you take 5 grams 3 times a day for 5, 6, or even 7 days. Why? Because it gets into the working muscles much quicker. It's loaded into the body. And then after the 6th or 7th day, for example, you just take 5 grams every other day. Whereas if you want to be consistent and you're not really too fast with rushing the load phase, you just take 5 grams every single day. Remember to be consistent with it. It takes about 4 weeks to see noticeable effects. Why? As I've stated previously, it takes time to get stored into the working muscles. So I do have to be honest, creatine is one of them supplements that I highly recommend you to take. Like, it's very, very important. Creatine is one of the most important natural supplements you need to be taking if you're looking to excel your performance in anything you do, not just weightlifting. Start taking creatine to help improve your performance overall. So many supplements out there are very overrated, but creatine, make sure you're taking your creatine. It's not a must, but I'll highly recommend it. I'm telling you, you will seriously scale in your performance and you'll find working out a bit more easier because you can tolerate it more. Remember, more ATP, more energy into your system, more oxygen into your bloodstream. You're able to work even harder for longer and you enjoy it better. You enjoy the process, but you must be consistent. This thing you are seeing, this thing called creatine monohydrate, make sure you start taking it. Let me just say this one thing. My personal take again on it, once I start taking it, I think after 4 or 5 weeks, I can start to feel more heavier. It fills me out. And as a bodybuilder, or having a bodybuilder's physique, I say bodybuilder's physique because I don't compete anymore. So having a bodybuilder's physique, I can definitely feel more fuller. People even notice it. I feel more fuller. I look more swole. Yes, I'm still naturally cut, but it gives me more size, more definition, more, blood plasma, as in more blood volume, even my pumps. You can see my veins. Creatine does that. It's a natural compound within the body. Don't underestimate your creatine. I'm telling you. So breaking this down real quickly, the myths of creatine that you should not be listening to is going to make me getting fat. It's going to make me just become a superman in a way where I'm just going to excel my fitness levels just by taking creatine. I'm going to suddenly increase my squat drastically. If I take it every day, I'm going to suddenly become Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, these are things that a lot of people put into their mindsets, and when they start taking it, they become disappointed. I'm keep saying the same thing. It's a natural compound. These things take time. So you're not going to drastically improve whatever you're thinking in your mind. It's a slow process. Whatever you're doing, just add 1 or 2 reps or an extra set to it with a bit more ease. That's what creatine does. It's a slow accumulation over time. And that's literally it, being consistent. I had to put awareness out there because a lot of people are asking me, creatine, bro, should I start taking creatine? What do you think of creatine? Oh, I'm not been taking creatine for a while, but I don't see improvement in my performance. You need to be consistent. It's a natural process. It's not a steroid. It's it's not anabolic. It's a natural process. Be consistent with it and you will see progression over time. Make sure you're training hard. Focus on that vision, focus on that goal, whether it's fat loss, building muscle, etc. And I'm telling you, creatine is it's the genius, it's the mastermind. It's one of them supplements that you need to be taking. Can I just say one thing real quickly? A bit off topic, but I literally just did a 17-hour shift. I got in, it is 6 a.m. So I've been working since the previous day in the afternoon. It's now 6 a.m. now, British time. Everybody is sleeping in my household, so I'm trying to be quiet. Trying to film this creatine video because everybody's been asking me about this creatine video. Just a quick sit down, talk about creatine and just being basic and specific, but you're seeing the daily grind, right? 17-hour shift, come in, and I still wanted to just, film this. So that's why if you're probably thinking, why is he so quiet, etc., this is the reason. I still live with other people, so people are sleeping. I'm very open, I'm very, transparent, like the grind. So just want to make this video real quickly about creatine and how you can continue to scale and just stop putting these myths into your mind. Continue to take your creatine, be consistent with it, and continue to scale. Let's go out there and let's continue to live. Let's continue to live to make history. Why? Because you and I, we have one life. But first, creatine you must be taking.